tú supieras lo que yo sufrí por ti, teniendo que olvidarte sin saber por qué. Y ahora me llamas, me quieres ver, me juras que has cambiado y piensas en volver. Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar. Aléjate de mí, no hay nada más que hablar. Contigo yo perdí, ya tengo con quién ganar. Ya sé que no hubo nadie que te diera lo que yo te di, que nadie te ha cuidado como te cuidé. Por eso comprendo que estás aquí, pero ha pasado el tiempo y yo también cambié. Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar. Aléjate de mí, no hay nada más que hablar. Contigo yo perdí, ya tengo con quién ganar. Ya sé que no hubo nadie que te diera lo que yo te di, que nadie te ha cuidado como te cuidé. Por eso comprendo que estás aquí, pero ha pasado el tiempo y yo también cambié. Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar. Si no supiste amar, ahora te puedes marchar.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Foreigner FM. I'm your host, Julian Quintero. That was Ahora Te Puedes Marchar by Luis Miguel. Today is November 11th, 2022, ladies and gentlemen, and I gotta be honest, happy Remembrance Day to any Canadians that are listening out there. Pretty big Canadian holiday today. Honestly, pretty intriguing all around. So a lot of love out to the Canadians that have taken me in as an immigrant, because that's what I do as an immigrant. I get taken in. But all in all, it's been a really nice week for myself. Pretty nice, and honestly, it's been a pretty hectic week. Laura Faria cannot join us again today. She has a lot of personal business going on, so a lot of love to Laura if she is listening to this. I know that she's going through a lot right now. So regardless, you're not going to just be listening to me. And if you know where Luis Miguel is from, because you are educated, and even if you're not, Luis Miguel is one of the most popular Mexican artists ever, I would say, which means today we're talking about Mexico. And with me today, I have the wonderful Maria Gonzalez. How are you doing today, Maria?
Hi everyone, I'm happy to be here. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Honestly, I'm really intrigued for what today can hold, because Foreigner FM really is just an idea where I bring people in from different countries. We just talk because, you know, they've moved here, they haven't lived here, they get to talk about their experiences. And I think it's pretty fun. So before we really get into anything, you know, I already said your name, but, you know, say your name, your age, when you moved to Canada, and, you know, just a little information about yourself for the listeners at home.
Okay. So my name is Maria Gonzalez, and I came to Canada in 2018 for high school. It was a pretty random choice, but I ended up here. And then I wasn't sure where I was gonna study, but I really liked it when I came here the first time. After the pandemic, I went back home to Mexico, and I was like, where am I gonna go? And after a few months thinking, I was like, no, I really like Canada. So I came back for university, and here I am.
All right. Well, I think it's really interesting. What like you said, it was a random decision, but what prompted you to move to Canada in the first place?
It was a very random decision. First, I wanted to go to Australia.
Why?
Because I love animals and surfing. I don't know, it was just.
Oh, you like surfing?
I do.
Oh crap, that's cool.
So I was like, no, Australia is the best choice, you know. I wanted to go study outside, and I was like, no, yeah, Australia. But then my mom was like, no, that's too far. You want to go to Canada? And I was like, well, yeah. so, so I ended up here, and I really liked it. Like, once I arrived, like, I just wanted to move away from home for a while and, like, see new places. And because Australia was too far, I ended up in Canada, and I ended up really liking Canada, so I stayed.
That's fine. Honestly, that's a really respectable decision all around. I mean, I moved here just for university, and I've enjoyed it. It's been interesting, I would say. It's really different to Latin America.
Okay.
I find it really different, at least to Colombia. I don't know how different it is to Mexico.
No, yeah, I think it's pretty different. Like, first of all, the weather. Like, right now we're in November. I don't have a winter jacket. I don't have winter boots. Like, my whole...
You
wardrobe-
don't?
I don't.
Oh my God.
Like, when I was here in high school, I used to borrow it from my cousin's wife.
Oh
But,
my
like,
God.
now I need to get my stuff because, like, it's getting cold. And, like, I think, like, that's the weirdest thing for me. How people here have, like, 4 wardrobes for, like, every season. Like, they change clothes and they change their closets, like, all the time. Like, in
Fair.
Mexico, it's the whole, like, the thing all the same.
Yeah.
So that's pretty different.
But Bogota's about the same, but Bogota's kind of the weather that is right now. So for me, it's really weird because, Bogota's this weather and it's fine. But the difference is in Bogota, we don't have heating and we don't have air conditioning. So when it's 10 degrees, it's just 10 degrees. It's always 10 degrees. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like I come here and then it's like, oh, today's 15 degrees. I'm like, oh, it's kind of warm or something. And then I enter my house and it's like 22 degrees because they have finally put in the heaters.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this sucks. I have like my fan going all day. I'm like dying. I'm waiting for it to get colder so I can enter my house and not die.
Yeah, with an abanico.
Yeah. El abanico. Yeah. No, all in all, it's been pretty fun. But yes, I'm gonna move on to whatever the next song is here on the playlist, which for those of you listening at home, you're gonna be able to listen a bit here. This is Cuando Sale la Luna de Pedro Infante. Hopefully you at home can enjoy.
Deja que salga la luna, deja que se meta el sol, deja que caiga la noche, pa' que empiece nuestro amor. Deja que las estrellitas me llenen de inspiración para decirte cositas muy bonitas, corazón. Yo sé que no hay en el mundo amor como el que me das, y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. Y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. Cuando estoy entre tus brazos, siempre me pregunto yo, ¿cuánto me debía el destino que contigo me pagó? Por eso es que ya mi vida toda te la entrego a ti, tú que me diste en un beso lo que nunca te pedí. Yo sé que no hay en el mundo amor como el que me das, y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. Y sé que noche con noche va creciendo más y más. Deja que salga la luna.
And that was, well, Cuando Sale la Luna, Pedro Infante. We're back here, Foreigner FM, 12:22 in the afternoon, guys. And you know what? I'm just gonna ask it, Maria. Have you had lunch yet?
Not really.
Because what do you mean not really?
Because like I woke up and I was gonna have lunch,
Uh-huh.
and I saw the TTC was like delayed, so I had to leave early, so I didn't have lunch.
Where are you coming from?
I'm from Bathurst and College. Like
Okay.
it's not far, but they are doing construction as always.
Oh yeah, that whole street is on
Yeah.
construction. I forgot.
Yeah.
I was so excited because they finally finished the construction over here on College, right?
Finally.
No, like the one here, and I'm like, oh, the streetcar's gonna run again, and it's like, no, it's not gonna run again because the rest of the damn street is now under construction
Yeah.
almost until Hyde Park.
Yeah, no. All the way home, like all you see is construction, so I need to walk like 20 minutes down to Dundas and then go in the other streetcar.
Ugh, you could honestly just like take the TTC all the way to there is there TTC up at Bathurst and Bloor
Yeah.
on the Green Line?
But it's like the same walk, so I'd rather go to.
That's
the,
fair.
yeah,
That's fair.
streetcar.
But yeah, all in all, then the reason why I'm asking about lunch is because honestly, I'm kind of hungry. I'm gonna be honest with you. I am kind of hungry. I woke up about an hour and a half ago. My mom's listening to this and she's gonna be like, "You have unhealthy sleeping habits," and I'm like, "I live in university, and like nothing about my existence is healthy at the moment." But all in all, the reason why I asked is just, you know, I want to talk about Canadian food and like how different it is to food and the culture and everything in Latin America. So, you know, start off pretty easy. What is, for you at least, your favorite Mexican dish?
Oof, that's a tough choice. I'm gonna go with the basic. It's pretty, but I love tacos.
Fair.
Like tacos al pastor, you know, like not any tacos, but like tacos al pastor are like specifically very good in Mexico City. So I really enjoy them. And like sometimes for breakfast, like chilaquiles and everything, like they're good. It's nice, but like nothing compares to like when you go back home from like a party at like 2 a.m. in the morning and like the tacos
2 a.m. in the morning?
like the tacos are always open.
It's always, I don't know if this is a stereotype because, like, you know, all I know is obviously through media and everything. I visited Mexico before and everything, but like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't exactly like lived there. I haven't like seen the experience or anything like that. But like, when open at 2 in the morning, like everyone talks about the taco trucks. Is it like a taco truck in Mexico as well, or is it like a place?
It's like places, like tiny places that are open 24/7. Like I don't know how they don't close. Like never, not even on the weekends. They're always open.
They're always open, and then it's Christmas, and they're like, okay, today we're closed.
No, not
Like,
even on Christmas.
oh my, really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Like they're open 24/7. Like I swear.
That's damn. That's weirdly really Latin American. That's really all I can say about that. But yeah, tacos al pastor, huh?
I love them so much. With like chicharrón de queso. Have you had it?
De queso no, pero chicharrón. Oh,
No, but this is like
it's phenomenal.
cheese. Like they put the cheese on the thing and they made like chicharrón, but only cheese. And I love it. And like I put it on my tacos and it's amazing. I love it so
I can imagine. It sounds amazing.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, I'm hungry now.
oh, I've been hungry. That's why I asked.
Now you made me hungry.
We can get food after this if you're not doing anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I have class at 4, so like I have time to kill.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, for me, Colombia is just the funniest thing about Colombia is the traditional dish that everyone loves and it's good is bandeja paisa. Bandeja paisa is like rice, beans, carne molida, tajadas. It's really good.
It sounds good.
Except I am really weird when it comes to being Latino, and the reason why is because I really don't like beans.
You don't?
I hate beans.
I mean, do you guys have like the sweet beans or like the normal?
I
kind of
don't
beans?
care. I just don't like beans.
In general?
No, it's reached the point. Like I remember, when I was growing up, my parents like, you have to eat your frijoles, you have to eat your beans. And I'm like, I'm not eating it. Like, it reached a point where like I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not eating these. I don't care if you pay me, and you're not going to pay me because you're my mom. I'm not eating them. And so my mom would do the fine. If you can't eat them, then she would take the dish away. And then the next meal, she'd put that same thing.
Until you ate
Until
it.
you ate it. You're not eating anything else. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not eating.
Yeah.
Like it reached that point. Now my parents are just like, you know what? He doesn't eat beans. That's that. And I took a trip to Las Amazonas in high school. And it was honestly really fun.
Yeah.
And of course, almost every day, the meal was beans. I did not eat for like 2 days. And I was like, bro, I'm so hungry. I'm like, please,
You should
something.
have gave up and ate the beans.
I ended up my body, it reached a point they're like, I'll put beans in my mouth and my body just won't swallow them. Like, I just can't eat beans. It reached a point where like I put the beans in my mouth and I'm just like drowning in water trying to get it to go down my throat. And my relationship with beans is not particularly very friendly.
It doesn't sound like it.
It's not. It's not great for my health. It's not great all around. But if I have to give like, there's nothing better. And I think this is just Latin America as a whole. But there's nothing better than a good asado. Like, it's phenomenal.
On a Sunday.
Oof, man, I'm so excited. Carne asada. God, that shit. I just cursed. I can't curse, but that's phenomenal. I absolutely love it. I'm going back home. For Christmas and for New Year's and everything, and I'm like really excited because I get to I live in an apartment here where it's honestly it's not that big. We don't have a grill. We're all broke university students, so even then like we can't really like make anything. And I'm going home and we're probably gonna have at least one asado for around Christmas time with family, so I'm really excited because I'm like, man, that's good food.
Oh yeah, for Christmas the parties. Like in Mexico we have this like parties, which they used to be like traditional thing, but they become like normal.
Yeah,
parties.
novenas.
Novenas?
Have you not had a novena?
No, we call them posadas.
Posadas, yes. Yeah. No, for us it's novenas. They're fun.
Yeah.
I tried doing one here with my friends. I tried, but then I'm like, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be such a horrible person if I have them reading prayers in Spanish. Like
With the candle.
with the no, we don't have candles. For
You
us,
don't have the
for us, we
candles?
just like read it,
Oh.
and then we like sing a little jingle in between them with like a maraca and stuff, and then when it all ends, we all eat a buñuelo.
Yeah.
We all eat almojábana. We all start singing, and it's always
You
like,
don't break the piñata?
no, what
break
y'all break piñatas?
We do. Like we first, like I don't know, like people are eating and stuff, and then it's, like when it's the night, we have the like posada thing, which is like the candle thing, where people go like inside the house and the rest are like in the garden, and it's like supposed to be like when.
Are you talking about velitas?
Yeah.
That's a whole day for us. Like that's just Dia de las Velitas. You go to your friend's house, you light a bunch of candles. The wax comes down. You make massive wax
Oh
balls.
no. This one
Velitas.
is no like we have candles, but it's like supposed to represent when like Joseph and Mary were trying to ask for like a place to stay when they were gonna have I don't know. It's like a weird thing, but like.
You're like weird thing, and I'm like, no, I understand exactly what you're saying because this
No,
is
but,
the
like,
life I grew up on.
The people outside like ask to go inside, right? Like ask for posada. And then like after they let you inside, like there's a conversation like singing with the candles. Then they let you go inside. And after they let you go inside, everyone sings together and then we break the piñata.
What? That is so different to what a novena is. For us,
Yeah.
novena is 9 days in a row.
Oh.
What's it called? The 9 days leading up to Christmas, you gather usually with friends or family. In some cases, both. You sit down, you read a prayer, a series of prayers. So you have the prayer for the day that you're on. So let's say you're on day 2 of las novenas. You read the prayer for day 2. You read the prayer for baby Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
You read the prayer for the Virgin Mary. And you read the prayer of every day. You read the prayer for Joseph. It's not in this order, but and then you read, crap, what's the word? No. There's like mini prayers, and it's so funny because it's like 4 lines, like poetry. They're like, I love God and God loves me. No. It's no, it's so weird because right now I'm blanking, but the second I sit down with my family and we're doing it, I don't even have to look at the book. I know it by heart. I know exactly what I have to say. But like right here, I just don't remember, and that's horrible. And I'm even forgetting what they're called. No, knowing my mom, she didn't text me. Oh, that's interesting. My mom's not micromanaging my performance today. This is interesting. No, come on. Novenas, come on. This is so easy for me. I've done this every year since I was.
But it's like a different thing every day. Like
the prayer's different every day, essentially, but it's like the same structure. And then that ends, and we sing songs, and then you just hang out. Like you'll eat food. If it's like family, take a dinner. If you're your friends, you get really drunk. Like that's just how it is. But in reality, the whole purpose of it is to just get together and pray because it's really Catholic, and that's it, really.
Yeah. No, we don't actually pray. It's just like the same script. It's just
Also, y'all just have fun.
Yeah. And like you can do it like 9 times in December. Like there's 1,000 different posadas for like everyone's house, and you say the same script over and over. Like for every posada you go, and it's just like, oh, can we go inside? Yeah, and then we all party.
Yeah, let's drink. Yeah. All right. Speaking of alcohol, I'm gonna put a song afterwards, but just to finish up here because we're on the topic of alcohol.
Yeah.
Tequila.
I love it.
Thought. Okay, cool. I'm just making sure because I've had discussion with people and they're just like,
people hate it. Like I've seen people here and they're like, no, that's too strong for me. But I don't know. Like
what?
I grew up with tequila, and I don't know.
Like I'm not from Mexico, but like I grew up with tequila as well, and it's really funny because like I think I might be the worst tequila drinker on the planet.
Really?
Not in terms of how I take it, but just how I drink it. Because like I see people that do it, they have the salt here, they have the shot, they have the lime, so they lick it, they drink it, and they stick it. And I just drink the shot, no salt, no lime, I just drink it, and then I look at the person, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm just like, I'm contemplating my life decisions. Yeah. Like I'm just like looking at them, and they're like, "Oh."
No, like you can take the shot as long as you do like we have this thing where we do arriba, abajo.
Arriba, para dentro, para centro, para dentro.
That's fine. If you do that, it's fine.
If you do that, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, you're good. You don't
I think it's phenomenal. No, yeah. In Colombia, we have aguardiente, and I gotta be honest with you, it is one of the most disgusting alcohols I've ever had in my life. It's just not great.
The name sounds interesting.
Aguardiente is just spicy water.
Yeah.
Like
very spicy water.
But like I don't know how to describe it. My roommate described it best. He said it's bad sambuca. That's what he called it. I like it not because it tastes good, but because it tastes like home. So like I'll just drink it and I'll have fun, and then everyone's just like, "Why do you drink this?" And I'm like, "Oh, because it's what I drink at home. Like it's just what I'm used to."
It reminds me of my childhood.
But you know the worst part is, not in my case, but I know people that could legitimately say that.
No, yeah,
because am I wrong to say like Latin American parents are just gonna be sitting there and just like, bueno.
Yeah, like you try that.
Kids?
Yeah. Like you start trying alcohol, like not getting drunk and like wasted, but like you start tasting alcohol since you're like 11.
Probably.
Yeah.
And my dad's just like, try this beer. And I'll like take a sip. I'm like, oh, this is horrible.
Like,
and he's
no,
like, good.
No, yeah, try it.
Like, try it. And you drink it. Like, this is horrible. He's like, good. Remember that. Like, don't drink. And then, no, because like for me, I hated beer for a long time.
Really?
And I did. Because like first time I tried it when I was little, I just didn't like it. And then I just didn't like it. And then one time when I was like 14, 15, I go to Anapoima, which is like a town usually where you have your ranchos, your fincas. So I'm there with family, and they're with my family, and it's just like really hot. And I take a nap on an hamaca. I'm just sleeping on an hamaca. I'm like, oh, I wake up, I'm like drowsy, and my cousin, it's so hot. My cousin's just there holding like this ice cold beer. Just gives it to me. And I tell people, I'm like, I don't care if you like or dislike beer. Your opinion on beer becomes at minimum, I don't mind it, to I like it. The second it's a really hot day and someone hands you a really cold beer, like in that moment, it doesn't matter. Like beer is just like, okay.
No, it's like the best. Like if you ask me my favorite drink, it's a coronita, which is a tiny corona, on the beach. Like, not the drink, but like when I drink it on the beach cold, that's my favorite drink.
Girl out here doing a whole Corona ad on like
Oh, my bad.
I'm not paid, man. I can't provide the sponsorship like that, you know?
I'm sorry, but it's too good. Like,
No.
I had to mention the brand.
No, I get that. Like, that's like if I pull it up. My favorite thing is when I'm chilling in a random field with 3 of my friends with a box of nectar. Like,
Yeah.
like that's just how it sounds like.
Yeah.
But like, it sounds so much better because they're just like, ooh, I'm at the beach with my friends and we have a coronita and we all have fun as the sun kisses my body. And I'm
Sounds
sitting
like
here.
an ad, but it's true. Like, that's my favorite drink.
And then I'm sitting here, I'm just like, bro, in my country, it's like, yo, let's go to the middle of nowhere and then like drink aguardiente until like we can't feel our bodies anymore. Like,
Interesting.
that was a high school experience for me. I never got involved because I was always the one that had to make sure my friends didn't die or like didn't just like go crazy. I was the one like, all right, guys, time to drink your water.
Time for bed. You were
Come
the
on,
responsible
guy.
friend. Nice.
Yeah, that was me. But yeah, just because we're talking a lot, and I know for a fact there's people at home that like listening to the music aspect of this show. This is upcoming song is going to be Querida by Juan Gabriel. So have some fun and enjoy.
Querida, cada momento de mi vida, yo pienso en ti más cada día. Mira mi soledad, que no me sienta nada bien. Oh, ven ya, querida. No me ha sanado bien la herida. Te extraño y lloro todavía. Mira mi soledad, que no me sienta nada bien. Oh, ven ya, querida. Piensa en mí solo un momento y fe. Date cuenta de que el tiempo es cruel y lo he pasado yo sin ti. Oh, ven ya, oh, oh, querida. Hazlo por quien más quieras tú. Yo quiero ver de nuevo luz en toda mi casa. Oh, querida, ven a mí que estoy sufriendo. Oh, ven a mí que estoy muriendo. En esta soledad cuando tú, ey, tú.
And that was Querida by Juan Gabriel. Ladies and gentlemen, again, it's 12:43. For those of you at home, the weather in Toronto is weathery. It's currently like 11, 12 degrees right now in Toronto. Light showers, so if you're going outside, 13 degrees. Ooh, major difference. It is light showers, and it's going to be kind of rainy all day. Or as I like to call it, Bogota came to visit me today. Rain, mundane weather, and gray clouds all around. It's just like home. Days like this remind me a lot of home. Which, I think that leads into my next topic here for you, Maria, which is, what has been one of the largest culture shocks coming to Canada compared to living in Mexico? Like, what has been something that you've had to, like, transition in terms of whether it's how you live or what you do or how you manage yourself? How different, like, what is a major difference between living in Canada and living in Mexico for you?
I would say the people, probably. Like the way the culture works and the way the people interact in general, like everywhere, it's very different. So I don't know, like it's general in Latin America, but people are like very open and like you can talk to a stranger and it's like, oh, amigo, it's basically like you've known them your whole life, and here people are more like laid back and like, like if you talk to a stranger, like they're nice, like they're very nice. But you don't feel like that, like, oh, I've known you my whole life,
Yeah.
So, like, it's the same when you go to parties here and when you go to parties in Latin America in general. Like, I was telling this friend, and he's from, like, a Peruvian background, and I was telling him, like, oh, yeah, the parties are, like, weird. Because, like, for Halloween, we had, like, this Latin American party, but I ended up going to a friend's, like, house party, which was, like, mostly Canadian people. And it was, like, very different experience. Like, when you go to a Latin American party, like, it doesn't matter if you don't know them, like with strangers, like you have fun and like you just dance as if you've known them your whole life and like you just dance and party. Like that's my definition of partying, And when I came here, like for this house party, they were just like, oh yeah, like just talking all the time. Like I don't know, it was like, reuniones, like reunions, like it was like that, but like
It's just a reunion. Their parties are just reuniones, yeah.
And like they just like speak and drink and then like they dance for like 2 minutes, but then it's like I don't know, it was pretty weird to see like how the mostly Canadian parties work.
It's interesting, and that's part of my main culture shock issue with Canada. You mentioned is just the dancing, and it bothers me so much because dancing here is they put an EDM song or like a pop song and you're dancing by yourself, you're jumping up and down. It's fun. I understand. It's fun. But like after 5 minutes, I'm like, my knees hurt.
Yeah.
It's boring.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. But in Latin America, what I loved so much was I'd be chilling and then someone puts salsa and then another song of salsa and then they'll throw a reggaeton in there. And then right after they'll put a bachata, merengue, sometimes vallenato. I was like, whoa, fantastic. And specifically in Mexican culture, what I like is just when they randomly throw in la ranchera and it's just everyone's just like in arms, drinking, singing in the worst voice I've heard in my life.
It's like the final, like, when you go to a Mexican party, you dance, you do that stuff, but at the end, when everyone is wasted, like everyone's drunk, that's when you put the rancheras.
That's when you whip out Christian Nodal.
Yeah. And then they sing like they're like, it doesn't matter if they haven't dated or like if they haven't had like nobody in their lives or like been heartbroken, they sing it as if they're feeling it.
You're drunk like crazy. Like white people have Piano Man. I have Adios Amor by Christian Nodal. I have Rata de Dos Patas. Like. No, it's but like back to the term of dancing, I went to a Latin club here.
Yeah.
And a bunch of people there that are going with like their 1 or 2 Latin friends. And like with the few actual Latinos that I saw there, I danced, I partner danced. It was so fun. But I'd go up to a random white girl and be like, "You want to dance?" And she'd be, "I have a boyfriend." And I'm like, I don't care. I'm not hitting on you. I just want to dance. Like
I know. It's
so stupid how the culture here is like, if you want to dance with someone, it's because you want to in other words, have sex with them.
Yeah.
you know? And I think it's so stupid. I think it's so stupid because, like, I grew up, I would just dance with my cousin. I don't want to have sex with my
Yeah.
cousin. I would dance with my aunt. I don't want to have sex
It's
with
like
my
having
aunt.
fun.
Like, I like dancing. I like spinning people around. And my argument was, one of my friends here, she's just like, oh, but if I dance with you, then a guy's going to think, like, oh, like, that's a thing, and I'm not going. I'm like, that is the stupidest thing.
Yeah.
Because what I was taught when dancing, specifically salsa, the reason why you spin a girl and you show them off so much is so you can show her off to everyone else around you.
It's like this is what you're
Like,
missing.
like I'm dancing with my friend, and I'm just like, look at the girl. Like, look at the
Yeah.
girl. And then she'll go off with a dude that she's actually interested in. And then a girl will be like, yeah, you dance pretty good. And then now I have something as well. That's how I see it. Like, if you're interested in someone, then that's when you dance with them at least 3 times in a night. That's how you show them, like, okay, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Especially if it's the 3 songs in a row. Like, that is, like, if I want to dance with you, it's just because I want to dance. There's nothing behind it. No reason. It's just, I like dancing. And I feel like that's really bothered me since coming here. Because everyone's just like, oh, I don't dance. Oh, I'm so awkward.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're so boring.
No, yeah. When like we went to this party that I was telling you about, there were like a bunch of white girls, and they're like, I can teach. After I had a few shots, I'm like, I can teach you. I'm not like the best dancer. But, like, back home, I took like a few salsa classes, and I'm improving slowly, right? So I was like, I can teach you. You know, but I was kind of drunk. So I got like these 4 white girls next to me, and I was teaching like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, like all the time. And they're like, I can do it now, you know, like. But it was pretty fun, you know, like seeing them try was
No,
like nice.
For me, it's interesting because, like, especially with Latin dance, a lot of it is just the guy leads. You just have to let the dude lead you.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but people in Canada can't wrap their head around that. So I'll be like, oh, let me dance with you. And I'll try spinning them, and they'll just stand there. I'm like, you go with this spin. And they're like, this is so hard. I'm like, look, I understand that your values are that you don't let people tell you what to do or anything. I get that. Let me spin you. Just let me guide you, and we're good. It's like, you can tell me whatever you want. You can tell me what to do outside of this, but let me dance. I'll show you how to do it. You're going to have fun. You're going to have a laugh, and that's it.
Yeah, and even the steps are different, like for girls and for guys when they dance, like they move a different like foot every time they
Yeah.
like dance, like it's different.
When I learned salsa in high school, because I love my dad, but my dad's definition of learn salsa, because I didn't have a sister, and my mom, she's not the most avid dancer. My dad loves dancing. He's the dancer of our family. My mom isn't. My dad is. So my dad, when I was a kid, he would just tell me, all right, I'm going to dance now, learn. And then he would just like dance with my mom for 10 minutes. And I just have to like stand there and watch. I didn't learn anything. So when I moved, because I grew up in the US, when I moved to Colombia, we started going to these parties and everyone's dancing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I had to learn on the fly. And I got pretty solid at it. And then in class, there was a teacher named Fabian. I love Fabian. He's amazing. He was my rock climbing instructor. But on the days where we couldn't do rock climbing, we honestly just called that class, we're doing whatever Fabian feels like doing. And so there was like a span of like 3 weeks where he would just be like, all right, guys, today we're dancing bachata. I'm teaching you Caribbean salsa versus Latin American salsa. And like we learned it. So like I know how to dance, what's it called? Ruleta in salsa. It's the one where like you're going in a circle, like a giant circle with people. I know how to do the one that is like going vertical. I know the one going horizontal. And just because I asked him, because I thought it would be interesting, I know how to dance as the girl in salsa as well. I learned, because I'm like, if I have a kid, like I want to be able to help him out, because I know with my luck, I'm going to marry the whitest white Canadian woman from Windsor, Nova Scotia or something like that. Like, she's not going to teach him to dance unless it's the country square dancing at your little hoedown in your bars. So like I want to get ready for that, because I love dancing so much, and I want my kids to see that as well.
Yeah, it's pretty enjoyable. Like I really like how I used to hate dancing when I was little. When I was little, I was like, no, like I don't dance, you know, I was those persons that were like, no, reggaeton is, you know, and then
Reggaeton.
yeah, I was like,
It's because
no,
I had no one love me. I don't
no.
like reggaeton. No one's into me. That's why I didn't dance it.
no, it was
I can
like,
relate.
it was, I was like, no, that music, no, it has the same rhythm, like I don't know, like I didn't like it, but then I started hearing it more, and I was like, no, I actually like it.
I
I was like, yeah, and I was
I
like,
get it.
I need to learn how to dance now, you know.
It's
Like just like my mom is a very good dancer, but she's like old, right? So she would teach me like
old. How old's your mom?
60.
Okay, cool. Because I'm like, if
yeah.
you're like, my parents are old, and then you said like 50, I'm like, my mom's 51, and I think she's young and
Oh.
beautiful. Like, I love my mom. So,
I love her too, but she's
I
like,
know,
so
but like,
old.
I don't think, unless my mom was graying, crippled, and like in a wheelchair or like in bed rest, I don't think I'd ever call her old until like
Oldish.
she's so old that I just have to like be like, dog, you're old,
It's
bro.
fine, it's fine. She's not listening.
Mine is, so that's totally why I'm complimenting.
yeah.
No other reason.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. My mom is really young and beautiful, and I have to like me personally. She's done a lot for me, so I really appreciate her as a whole. And at the same time, a lot of people say that I look like my mom. So if I'm just like, oh, my mom's old at 50, in my head I'm like, well, I'm gonna be old at 50 then. And I personally don't want to be old at 50.
Yeah.
So all in all, I think my mom is young and beautiful, and it also helps considering that like all her sisters and her brothers and my grandparents are like really old. And I say that because my grandmother had my mom, I believe, at what, 45?
No, me too. My mom had me when she was like 42.
Jeez. Yeah, your mom's old.
No, it was like, because like, it's an interesting story, because like my brother was born, my brother is 18 years older than me. So like, my parents got married when they were like 20 something, and they had my brother. And they wanted another kid, but like they couldn't have it. Like they tried and they couldn't. So they just thought like, oh, it's not gonna happen. And like they're like 20 years later, I'm like, hi. You know?
Hi.
Yeah. So like
mom-
most people in my family are old-ish.
My mom is the youngest of 9. And I'm not going to get into details of like a bunch of things that have happened in my family. But in the end, my mom's the youngest of 9, and the closest sibling to her is 15 years older than her.
Oh man.
Closest one.
Yeah.
I think the oldest one, which is my aunt Patricia. Oh, my mom is going to text me and be like, see, my mom was 46. Yeah, there she goes. But my grandma was 46 when she had my mom. But no, I'm in my head. I'm trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure my aunt Patricia is what? 25 years older than my mom?
Yeah.
I don't know, but like it's an age gap. It's
Yeah.
like the joke in the family is that my aunt could have been my mom's mom. Like it's very
Yeah.
like my cousin is 40.
Yeah. Mine too.
It's so fun. I think it's really funny because like I'll text them and we'll like, so how was the game today? And we'll just chat back and forth.
Yeah.
And nah.
It's interesting because like also when you were saying like, oh, they were joking about like how your aunt could be your mom's mom. Like when I was born, the nurse congratulated my brother. He got traumatized. He has not had kids since then.
Since then, so he had kids already or what?
No, never mind.
Ah, okay, that's what I thought. He hasn't had kids since then. I already had
No,
some
like
there.
like not even consider the options since then, you know. But like,
Trauma.
he got traumatized. He has said like we have, you know, carrilla, like we make fun of each other, like yeah, like that. And he said like, oh, the best like how do you say like anticonceptivo, like
Anticonceptivo.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the best birth control. Were you like, oh
Were
my
you?
God. Yeah.
The best reason to not have sex and not have kids is because of
It's
you.
because of you, yeah, but like as a joke, you know.
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't know, but it's funny, it's interesting.
No, I think it's phenomenal. Latin American culture is really dope because like we see this so frequently, and we see like really large families or large age discrepancies, and I only see it like in Latin families. Like I come here and it's Travis, Liam, and Scott, and they're all like 3 years between each other,
Yeah.
and their parents had them completely planned at 20, 23, and 26 or whatever the
Like, they
heck.
come in batches, you know?
Yes, like, but like everything's really planned. Everything is like very cookie cutter.
Yeah.
And then in Latin America is like, I had a lot of whiskey tonight, and 9 months later you came out, and it's
Yeah.
just like, cool.
Cool.
Like my parents, I've done the math. Okay, mom, dad, I was supposed to be born November 5th, which means by math, my parents conceived me in February. Most people would go, oh, Valentine's Day. No.
Yeah.
In Colombia, I'm a carnaval baby, bro. My parents had me. I was conceived around carnaval. I don't know if my parents went in the carnaval of 2001, but I know for a fact I was conceived around that time. I know that for a fact,
Nice.
right? So it's really fun talking about culture in that sense, but yeah. So I'm just gonna do one more question, pretty straightforward. Do you miss Mexico?
Yeah, I do.
What do you miss about it?
So many things. Like, I think this sounds cliche, but like, you don't realize how much you appreciate your country until you leave it, you know? Like the tiny things. I don't know. First of all, the weather. Like, I really miss the weather. And then the food also. The places. Like, you can go to the beach for the weekend, or like, you know, like there's so many activities to do that like I'm not able to do in Canada because like they're not here, or like because we're students and we're like, not like able to do the things we used to do with like our families or like our friends back home,
Yeah.
right? So like, yeah, it's the general of like the life you had before,
Yeah,
you know?
I get that. For me, I just miss Colombia. You know, it's weird because a lot of my family has left Colombia. They live abroad. I have a couple cousins that live in Montreal. My aunt lives in Mexico. Actually, she lives in Cancun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Like my family's like moved from Bogota. A lot of my family has moved, and obviously my grandparents have passed and whatnot. So, all in all, it's become this experience where like I go home and I miss it. I love Colombia, but it also just weirdly no longer feels like home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a whole discussion, and I could have brought